So one of the very first things that predators do is they remove their prey from their support system, right? So traffickers will remove the child from their support system and from the area where they know. And that could be something as simple as, hey, I bought you a Greyhound bus ticket. Go to the bus station and get your ticket and meet me 2 states away. Or it could be, get in my car and we'll get out of here and, you're going to live a better life. Whatever it is, they immediately try to remove them from their support system so that they can't reach out for help.
Have there
Sure.
been examples you can point to
Yes.
where someone has been saved cross
so
country?
there's plenty of them. We have had, cases at Deliver Fund as an example where we're working with law enforcement and a child was groomed through a gaming console, right? I mean, like your Xbox type gaming console, and through the chat feature, and then they didn't run away. They thought they were meeting a friend, but it ended up meeting somebody who wanted to harm them. And by the time law enforcement figured out with our help who they were and actually went and kicked in their front door, they were 4 states away. So one of the very first things that predators do is they remove their prey from their support system, right? So traffickers will remove the child from their support system and from the area where they know. And that could be something as simple as, hey, I bought you a Greyhound bus ticket. Go to the bus station and get your ticket and meet me 2 states away. Or it could be, get in my car and we'll get out of here and, you're going to live a better life. Whatever it is, they immediately try to remove them from their support system so that they can't reach out for help.
Man, this is it's a lot to take in, and I'm glad that you're on this end of the fight and serving what I would call the noble cause here. Again, regardless of what some idiots might say in the media, this feels like it should be more well covered. And just again, I can only say it. Just thank you, and I'd like to help get you on as many platforms as I can. I'm curious about this. I was talking to a friend of mine last night at the Charlotte FC game, and I was mentioning I was going to meet you today, and he listens to the show, and we were wondering what questions might we ask. And I'm curious, being someone who's on the front lines here, we may not be making a big enough dent yet for people to come at you like personally attack. But how do you have precautions for your own safety if a trafficker in a big industry might come at the source of it? How do you answer that?
Sure. So we are not traffickers probably don't know who I am. And if they do, I don't really care. Like, I survived 30 combat deployments, bring it. It's kind of the way that I look at it. I was on, I had a price on my head at one point from Saddam Hussein. He's not paying anymore. There was a number of us who also had our, we were on very specific lists from Al Qaeda and, all number of different groups. So I just kind of don't really care. Is the first thing. 2, I very much understand the level of sophistication of traffickers, and it's not what people think. I mean, when I first started doing this work, I thought that there would be a lot more adversarial sophistication, and there just isn't. And I went toe to toe with the Russians and in countries overseas and other state actors. So human traffickers are, quite frankly, just not a big deal. They just don't have the level of sophistication that Hollywood would lead you to believe that they do. Which is why it's so easy to catch them, and it's so easy to detect that kind of activity. So I'm not too concerned about it. Secondly, when you look at the really violent stuff around like the work that cartels do and things like that, there's always companies that are doing anti-money laundering work, that are doing all kinds of stuff, helping banks to say detect, cartel accounts, and they're not dumb enough to try to go after those companies, because the company helped them get an account shut down. I mean, it's just they know they're eventually going to get caught, or members of their network are going to get caught, and they take the appropriate precautions. So I'm not too concerned about it because it's just I understand how the system works and where people what are real threats versus what are theoretical threats.